Okay, so here is question 1. On the first day of a school camp, there were 396 children. 27 boys left the camp on the second day. If there were twice as many boys as girls who remained at the camp, how many boys were there on the first day of camp? Now, there is a lot going on. It's a long question, and you can see the first thing I did was to read it. We need to separate it out and think about what's going on and see if we can draw a model. So we've got a first day and we've got a second day. That's what we figured out from reading. And on the first day of the school camp, there were 396 children. And we know that 27 boys left the camp on the second day. Now, I'm now looking for something that I can start to draw. Now, I could draw obviously a bar that had 396 children and chop off a bit for the 27 boys that left, but I don't think that's where I want to start. This is the bit that's interested me. If there were twice as many boys as girls who remained at the camp, now that looks like something that a bar model could be really useful for. So we've got boys and we've got girls. So I'm going to draw a bar for boys and I'm going to draw a bar for girls. And let's look at what's being compared to what. If there were twice as many boys as girls. So what's the sort of basic unit? Well, the basic unit, now ignore my squared paper. I know I've used 2 squares to draw this, but I'm just saying that this is my basic unit. Now, if there's this many girls, if there were this many girls on the second day, then we know that there were twice as many boys. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. So let's have a look. I have now drawn a model of this bit here. If there were twice as many boys as girls who remained at camp. Right, I've got a picture of that part. But what are we asked? We're asked, this is the question here. We also have to keep an eye on what the question is. So this is the question. How many boys were there on the first day of the camp? Now, this is a model of the second day. All right. What did it look like on the second day? What happened to get to this point? Well, we know that 27 boys left the camp. I could use a different color. So let's just add an amount here. Okay. It's a different size to these. This value is not the same as these values. We don't know what this is, but we know that this has a value of 27. So on the first day of school camp, there were 396 children, 27 boys left. Okay, that's the other thing we also know is when we had these 27 children, there were 396 children altogether. Okay, so 396, what does that include? It includes these 3 equal sized parts and 27. Now, what we really want to do is to find out what the value of these parts is. Now, these 3 are equal, plus 27 equals 396. Well, if we want to know the value of these 3 equal parts by themselves, we need to take away 27 from 396. So we're going to do, so 396, and we're going to take away 27, okay? And we're going to look at what that leaves us with, which is 369. Okay, so 369 is the value of these 3 parts, which are all equal. So that means that if we divide 369 by 3, we're going to get the value of each of these parts. So 3 into 3 is 1, and 2 and 3. So each of these parts, let's use another color again, just because we can. Each of these has a value of 123. I don't have to write this all in, but it can help. Now, we have to go back and figure out what is our question. We were asked how many boys were there on the first day of the camp. Well, remember our original model that we drew, that was the second day, and these were the boys that left on the second days, but they were there on the first day. So what I want to know is this value. What's the value of that? And as you can see, it's 123 times 2 plus 27. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, that's just easy. We could probably do that in our heads. But so 123 times 2 is 246. So 123 times 2 gives us 246. And then we want to add the 27. Okay, so we can add the 27. And that's going to give us 273. Okay, and that's the answer to our question. All right, and we always have to keep track of where we are. There's various steps to solving this problem, so make sure that you know every time you do a calculation, think, what have I just solved? Okay, when I did this calculation, I had to write, that's the value of each of these parts. I can write that in. All right, and this is my answer. Okay, 273 boys were there. This is the boys section on the first day.